There we go. Pull the buttons. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us here in the One Conscious Love Network. I'm here with Paul Kellogg. Paul and I met through Bump, and it's been a fast friendship, and I've learned so much from him already. I'm very happy to introduce him to all of you. Paul, please introduce yourself and tell everyone what it is that you do, how you share your light in the world.
Thank you, Melanie. I really appreciate being here with you today. It's always a pleasure to connect with my colleagues all over the world and share our hearts together. And I guess that's what I do. You know, I just sum it up in a nutshell. It's helping people to really come out and really express who they are and what their genius and energy is all about. You can see in my background, the rise in excellence is a kind of a mantra that I've been using for myself personally the last couple of years. I've had a career over decades of helping people with personal growth and development, their intuitive development, their spirituality side of life without the dogmatic part of that, and really bringing together the gifts that they have, their intuitions, their inner guidance, their energy levels, and helping people to rise up and become better and better at that so that all the tools and techniques that we help them with can become practical, usable in their families and in their business and their relationships. So traveled around the world, met thousands of people, and continue to do it, and I just love it.
That's so beautiful. How did you get started in that? What was your path that led you to this career?
Well, when I was growing up, I was very sensitive. I had that intuitive kind of side of life where I knew things that were going to happen before they happened. I could actually see energies around people and plants and animals, and it was very mystifying to me. I didn't understand it. Didn't if I would say something about it to my friends, they'd make fun of that. And a couple of people outright called me crazy. And one young person called me of the devil because their religion didn't believe in that kind of psychic awareness, if you will, for lack of a better word. But my mother was very, very engaged in reading books and attending different classes on that intuitive side of life. And when my father passed on when I was 16, I had premonitions that something was changing in our family and that I needed to kind of be ready and prepared. And that happened. And I found out that my mother had been having dreams that my dad was leaving the family. And there were just all these kinds of metaphysical, mystical things that were going on. And I was old enough and I wanted to understand that. I didn't want it to just be some kind of weird thing that people would think I'm crazy about. I wanted to be able to make it work. If it was there, what could I do with it? And so I started attending classes at a youth camp that fostered and helped people develop all that leadership side, that inner leadership, and using those skills to do that. And it quickly became a career. I did my first lecture when I was 19 years old, first radio show when I was right before that lecture. And that's what started it.
That's so beautiful. It's quite the journey, and it's inspiring that your mother had the depth and the understanding to support your talents and your gift. And
it really was. And we became, it's funny, my mother, she had 4 kids. So here she's a single mom now with 4 kids. She had to go find a job. There was some savings, but not huge. And eventually she had to go find a job. And she used her inner guidance, her guidance to find that job. She would just circle certain things in the newspaper and kind of check with that inner spirit, if you will, is this the right thing to pursue? And within a matter of a week, she had an amazing job that kind of, it's almost seemed like it would divinely fell in her lap. But she actually orchestrated that by using her own intuitive abilities to to work forward in that. So I watched her do that, and I wanted to do the same thing. So that's when I began to explore. My wife Susan and I met at a retreat about learning to relax and use your different skills of life purpose and and connection to that bigger realm of the universe in a very down-to-earth way. And we have 5 children, and they all were raised in this kind of general thinking, and each of them are out doing the thing. You've met Sandra, my daughter Sandra. She's a collaborator in the work that we've done. So it's really been a lifestyle, not just a study, or not just to go to a workshop on Saturday and get all jazzed up, and then the rest of the week hits you and you don't know what to do. It's become a lifestyle.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, very inspiring. And so what do you tell people that are not aware, that are not going through this transformation? What kind of changes would they see in their lives participating in the program with you guys?
It's interesting because in our communities, One Conscious Love Movement, our group that we've started is Empowered Soul Network, where we, just like you, interview people, and we have classes and programs and panels inside of all that. It's almost everybody that I've ever met and that I've interviewed in our group and been on these kind of podcast interview sessions with other people in our networks. I've never met somebody who isn't a little bit sensitive. They're a little bit intuitive. They all seem to have some version of that. So it's not only recognizing that we all have that intuitive gift, it's not even a gift. We're all intuitive beings. We're beings of energy. We're like radio receivers and transmitters, Melanie, that we talk about in our classes, where people are constantly sending out energy, vibes, thoughts, feelings. And because everything else is energy, we're constantly being bombarded by all the energies around us. So what makes us intuitive is that energy interacting together. That this energy, the sun shining on us, and us as planet Earth interacting with that, is the same way intuition works. You and I are having an intuitive experience here, even unconsciously, whether we think about it or not, because we're experiencing each other's energy. So to learn to discern that energy, what is me? What is my energy, my boundaries, my feelings, and what's not me? What's outside that's somehow impacting my reactions, and so on. So we work a lot with that, helping people learn to sort out where they fit inside of all the rest of the energy around them, so that they can be loyal to themselves and all that. So they can be clear and have those boundaries that say, here's my space and my energy. That's not my energy. That's not me. If you want to be a part of this, here's my boundaries. Here's my guidelines. Here's what you need to do. And that discernment really helps people make clear decisions to be more in the right place at the right time, not lose themselves in the relationships that they do care about, and at the same time being able to give to that. So tremendous balancing of mastering our energy, if you will. So we do a lot of techniques, practical things that people can take home and do on their own or do at the office. It's one thing to do them in a meditation class or some kind of an intuitive development class. It's another thing to do it in the middle of the cranky sales meeting, where you still have to be yourself and you still have to input into that. How do you do that? And those are the kinds of things that we work with.
That's so beautiful. I love that. I love that you're able to define the field of each person and how they interact in the universe. That's really, really powerful. And I'm sure people really experience a lot of joy through that. What are some of the transformations that you've seen with the people that you've worked with?
There's another aspect to that intuitive part that I want to say as I answer that. one of the things that we help people with is to realize that not everybody does the same. There are four basic ways that people will perceive energy. So when energy hits someone, there's a person that will put that into a thought. It's almost like the inner voice talking. And in the metaphysical circles, they call that clairaudience, which is a French word that means clear hearing. So you're hearing beyond the physical words. It's like that inner process. So they pick that energy up and put a thought to it. There's the clairvoyant person who clear seeing, who picks up that energy and puts a picture to that. So they see it in their mind's eye. They create visions. They often have technicolor dreams, things like that. And then there's the feeling person or clairsentient person, which means clear feeling, clear sensing. And they feel the energy. It feels good. It feels warm. So they have feelings that flood over them. And then the last one is called claircognizance or clear knowing. And that's that prophetic side that just knows. They don't know how they know, but they know. If you ask them how they know, they say, well, I don't know. Just trust me. Everything's going to be all right. So one of the things that we've seen is when people begin to understand, not only do they have all four of those, we all do that, just like we have eyes and ears and so on. But when they begin to see how they process that energy, some people are more adept at the mental hearing part. Some people are very visual. They have to see the picture before they can move into action. So when they understand how their languages of the soul work, they relax more. They start to understand not only themselves and that they're not weird and that they have a unique style of processing life and relationships and so on. But they also start to relax and understand their relationships. Not everybody's the same. An example, my wife, Susan, very visual, super visual. Everything has to be seen and be clear. She saw souls when she was young, dead people, like the Sixth Sense kid, saw the auras or energies around people, if you will. I'm very clairaudient. I have to understand. I have to think things through. The inner voices need to be clear for me. Well, oftentimes she has a picture and I don't understand it. I can't get the idea. Or vice versa. I have an idea and she can't see a picture. Well, knowing that about each other helps us to be much more patient, much more relaxed, much more open and inviting of the communication while we listen and get it. So we've been married now for 48 years, and quite frankly, it's probably kept our marriage together, kept us calm with each other, even in the midst of the chaos of the changes, the challenges in life. It's helped us a lot. Two of my children are very feeling. Oftentimes, Melanie, there's no word or phrase that fits the feeling or the experience. And maybe you've experienced that. It feels something, but yet I can't describe what that is. So I have to listen very clearly and stay very relaxed with those kids because they're experiencing it in a different way than I am. So being able to navigate our relationships in that more energetic, spiritual way of things in a practical way to help my kids at school, to whatever that is. That's powerful to be able to navigate it with tools and techniques that keep you on track.
That's beautiful. I know many people watching will think, oh, I'm more this style or that style, but never thought of it before. Never even knew that that was a concept, right? So it is very enlightening to people to discover this whole side.
And to know that you have all four of those, there's
right?
one that tends to be more prominent. So if you begin some of the consultation work, the one-on-ones we do, we help people nail that down so that they can really take that and make it something that is practical and becomes a routine to work with, habitual, lifestyle of energy. And there's tons of personality characteristics that go in with those different styles. There's a lot of personality tests out there. This is very unique, very different. It blends the common sense, the psychology, the mental side of it with the spiritual, so you kind of get a holistic view of that.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I love it. I love it. And I know you do so much more as well. So this is just one of the things that you've been basing your career on, but there's so much more depth to you and to what you do. So I'm really happy that you get to share some of that with everyone
Thank you.
today,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's a whole universe of experience.
Yeah, it really is. And this experience of us being in this body, living this life is just so fulfilling when we take the time to really fully live it. It's just a real gift.
I mean, it is, Melanie, and as you know, from because of the work that you do and having your network of people here, there's a great need that this world has for people that want to help other people and people that can show up as the leaders, not only in their own life, but show the way, be the way shower to other people, helping them find their path. So an aspect of the work that we do is helping people to really zoom in on their life purpose here. What were they born to do? What's their calling? I like to call them, what are the contracts that we have to reach certain people to help them move forward so things pay themselves forward, which is a lot of what our networks do. People watching this interview, it may help them think about something. We may never hear from them again, but it may help them think about something that then they go on and do some great works that help the world, help the country. I just was on NENTV interviewing a lady that lives in Morocco, and her goal is to help change the educational system in Africa so
Oh,
that young people have a sense of not just a system, but they can rise up in positive energy in that system. Sometimes the systems are so rigid that they don't allow for the expansion and growth of that soul, if you will. And so to see her express herself and feel that sense of purpose, I mean, that was beautiful. And so to
yeah.
help people do that, to help people get their story out, to feel confidence and that self-respect and self-acceptance, that's a great piece of the feeling of joy that I like to help people, is to find that next step, go to the next level. Whether a person's a new searcher in all of this, or they're a seasoned veteran and service provider, there's always more we can do. And that's why I have my Rise in Excellence website and interview show, podcast show, is I'm inspiring and challenging myself to go to my next levels, find the next level, find the next level. And for anybody who wants to do that, to join it, let's do it. Let's do more of it. There's no
That's
end to
so
it.
beautiful. That's so beautiful. I love that. I love your passion, and I also love the fact that you're growing, you're constantly adding and growing to yourself and to others as a result is just beautiful and very inspiring.
Thank you.
One question I always ask everyone is how do you choose conscious love every day? And I think you've touched on that with the way you're communicating, the way you're living your life. But anything else that pops up that you'd like to share?
Yeah, there is. Let me get something on my camera real quick here.
Nice.
Let me see if I can get that right. There we go.
Oh, yes.
So
Oh,
that is a house finch's nest, and we have a hanging pot out on our patio. And for some reason or other, these two finches, this pair of finches, decided to build a nest inside this hanging pot.
so
And we could watch them build it. And she laid her first egg on Mother's Day.
Oh,
And
wow.
there's been an egg each day since. So I'm chronicling this whole energy. But the reason why I bring it up is because the conscious love to me is really appreciating the uniqueness of life, the
Mm,
joys of life, the fun of life, the education of what life shows us when we just watch a bird building a nest and watching how they work and the teamwork of the two birds. I mean, it is really incredible to watch and hear these quote just creatures that you wouldn't think are intelligent, but you can feel the universe pouring through them. You can feel the intelligence of that in there. So that conscious love to me is valuing and honoring every person's journey, their story, their uniqueness. I don't care who they are, even people that are challenged, even people that might challenge me, even people that might outright give me trouble. There's
mhm.
something in that soul that has value. They may be confused, but they're learning and growing in their own way. So who am I to judge that?
Yeah.
Even the people that were challenged out in the businesses and politics of the world and so on,
Mm,
I can't really judge that in some ways. I have to allow life to happen and allow people to make their choices. So that's what love is all about to me, is really respecting the free will in people, helping to elevate that free will, maintaining my own love for myself so that my boundaries are clear. I'm not going to let you just walk in my door with muddy shoes and stomp all over my furniture,
yeah.
but I'm going to say hi at the door to you, and here's a place where you can go wipe your shoes off. So that's the feeling of that conscious love to me, is really honoring and respecting everyone as a soul, learning and growing in this great university we call planet Earth.
That's beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much. And we'll put all your links below so that people can reach out to you, join your group, and get in connection with you and grow and experience the pleasure that it is to be in your universe. And so thank you so much for being here. It's a real pleasure to have you, Paul.
Melanie, thank you so much. We'll get you back on Empowered Soul Network again too, and
It
have some
sounds
more
great.
fun.
Sounds great. Yes, I would love that. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for watching. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Great weekend.
Yeah, that's right. It's a long weekend.